On the news, police arrest 116 suspects in Abuja drug raids. With 14 children trafficked and sold for 800,000 naira each in Anambra State. Kano State government to grant amnesty to 1,600 repentant thugs. We're glad to have you join us now on TV360 Nigeria. I am Joy Uchejim. Now, in a sustained effort to rid the Federal Capital Territory of illicit drugs and related crimes, operatives of the Anti-Narcotics Section of the FCT Police Command have carried out coordinated raids across black spots in Abuja. Spokesperson of the command, SP Josephine Ade, disclosed on Thursday that the raids led to the arrest of 116 suspects and the recovery of various illicit substances and hard drugs and dried leaves suspected to be cannabis. She explained that after thorough screening, 89 suspects were released, while 27 were charged to court for public nuisance and possession of illicit drugs and substances. Now, President Bola Tinubu has called for reforms as the United Nations to give Africa permanent representation of the Security Council. Speaking at the plenary session on peace and stability during the 9th Tokyo International Conference on African Development in Yokohama, Japan, Tinubu argued that Africa deserves 2 permanent seats with full privileges. The president said the continent also deserves additional non-permanent seats in line with the Ezulwini Consensus and Sirte Declaration. And now to politics. The leaders of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) from southern Nigeria have rejected a meeting scheduled to hold in Lagos on Thursday, describing it as unrepresentative and exclusionary. The meeting, tagged the PDP Southern Zonal Consultative Summit, was convened by the party's zoning committee in Ikeja, Lagos. However, state chairmen, former governors, National Assembly members, and other key party stakeholders from the Southeast and South-South zones said they were neither invited nor consulted. The minority leader of the House of Representatives, Kingsley Chinda, said the meeting's outcomes should not be recognized.
The said meeting, tagged a summit, was allegedly convened in the name of the 3 geopolitical zones of southern Nigeria, that is the Southeast, the South-South, and the Southwest. We say that it is indeed highly regrettable and deeply disturbing that such a meeting was convened without the courtesy of inviting several state chairmen from the Southeast and the South-South. We reaffirm our unwavering commitment to the unity, the stability and electoral fortunes of the PDP and call upon all well-meaning leaders and stakeholders to resist any attempt to manipulate zoning arrangements through exclusionary tactics or clandestine maneuvers. The Southeast and South-South zones, alongside our counterparts in the Southwest, remain united in the pursuit of fairness, justice, and equity, the very ideals that have sustained our party's relevance and credibility over the years. As custodians of the mandate entrusted to us by our members, and indeed the people of this country, we remain resolute in defending the integrity of the People's Democratic Party and ensuring that any decision affecting southern Nigeria within the PDP are reached through proper consultation, transparency, and inclusiveness in line with the established democratic ethos of our great party.
And now the Commissioner of Police for the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, Ajao Adewale, has identified illegal mining as one of Nigeria's most urgent national security threats, stating that it fuels banditry and drains the country of an estimated 13.7 trillion naira annually. Speaking at a workshop organized by the Nigeria Union of Journalists FCT Council on the fight against illegal mining, role of the media in Abuja, Adewale disclosed that illegal mining has evolved into a powerful cartel-controlled business funded by influential Nigerians. TV360's Folashade Olusegun files this report from Abuja.
The Media Parley, hosted by the FCT Council of the Nigeria Union of Journalists, convened key stakeholders from the media and security sectors to foster stronger collaboration between the press and law enforcement. In his remarks, the Commissioner of Police for the FCT, Ajao Adewale, identified Zamfara, Nasarawa, Kogi, Kaduna, Niger, Kwara and Osun states as parts of the FCT as major hotspots for illegal mining, revealing that over 72 suspects linked to illegal mining activities have been arrested in Abuja alone between 2023 and 2024. Adewale stressed that without robust cooperation between security agencies and the media, these criminal cartels will continue to operate unchecked.
Within these 3 years, Nigeria has lost a total of 41.1 trillion naira to illegal mining in physical cash. This is outside the human life that has been wasted. The indirect cost of this illegal mining equally tells on our environment. The degradation, digitalization, dislocation of members of the community that we have witnessed in Zamfara and currently happening in part of Abuja here. Security implications, security crackdown. Banditry is strange to Nigeria until illegal mining assumed crescendo in Zamfara State, propelled by foreign criminals.
In her remarks, chairperson of the NUJ FCT Council, Grace Ike, urged journalists to move beyond surface-level reporting and embrace investigative journalism that uncovers the financiers between illegal mining, amplifies the voices of affected communities, and holds policymakers accountable.
Illegal mining, as we all know, is an issue that not only threatens our environment, but also endangers lives, undermines economic development, and fuels insecurity in many parts of our country. And journalists are friends of security agencies. So there's need for us to work together and partner as well as collaborate to see that we build a nation that everyone is proud of. So it is a complex problem that calls for multi-sectoral collaboration and robust intervention. The media, as the fourth estate of the realm, is the voice of the people and will always stand as the front line. Hence, the need for effective collaboration, like I earlier said, with security agencies and stakeholders to address these worrisome problems.
Other speakers agree that with balanced and accurate reporting, the media can uncover hidden dangers, shed light on the human and environmental impacts, and drive authorities to take meaningful action.
They are not saying that the factors they are raising, they are not germane, but as germane as they are, I think everyone should come on the same page. The National Assembly is trying to review the law. So let all the stakeholders, including state governors, local government chairmen, including host communities, let them present whatever their grievances so that in packaging a new law, all these interests will be taken care of and all of us will be on the same page instead of this kind of regulatory confusion.
Stakeholders urge journalists to uphold professionalism and objectivity in reporting on illegal mining, cautioning that sensationalism or bias could seriously undermine national efforts to protect Nigeria's mineral resources.
Now in Adamawa State, the state government says it has rescued 14 children trafficked from the state and sold in Anambra for amounts ranging from 800,000 naira to 1.7 million naira. On Wednesday, the state government reunited the rescued children with their parents at a ceremony in Yola, the Adamawa state capital. Speaking during the ceremony, Kale Tapwa George Farauta Adamawa Deputy Governor said after numerous reports of missing children in July, the government set up a joint operation with security agencies to unravel the situation. Farauta said the operation led to the arrest of one Ngozi Abdul Wahab, a suspected trafficking kingpin who operates a small provision shop in Jambutu Ward in Yola local government area. Now, the Kano state government has announced plans to grant amnesty to repentant thugs under its Safe Corridor initiative, designed to tackle political thuggery and youth restiveness in the state. The State Commissioner for Information and Internal Affairs, Ibrahim Abdullahi Waya, disclosed this at the State Police Command headquarters during the inauguration of the program. He said 718 youths had already been profiled, while an additional 960 were awaiting police validation before being enrolled. Now, Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has unveiled a newly built multi-purpose auditorium at the Lagos State University Ekpe campus. The 550-seater auditorium was donated by the Executive Vice Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission and former Lagos Commissioner for Environment, Olatunji Bello. Speaking at the ceremony, Sanwo-Olu described the edifice as a testament to vision, commitment, and the enduring value of giving back to society.
As a government, we have consistently emphasized education is a critical pillar of our development agenda. Under the education and technology component of our Teams Plus agenda, we remain resolute in our commitment to providing world-class infrastructure and opportunities that will provide globally competitive graduates and students that will continue to make Lagos the center of excellence. It was not out of not thinking or wanting to compete with LASU. Like 3-4 years ago, we came in and we saw that we had only one university, the great LASU. And we felt that if Alhaji Lateef Jakande of blessed memory, 45 years ago, set up LASU, the minimum we can do is to double that number. And we're thankful that LASU supported us and the cabinet at that time. Today, Lagos has 2 additional state universities, the University of Science and Technology in Ikorodu and the University of Education in Oto-Ijaniki.
Through the public address system, I sincerely hope that this auditorium will inspire you to double your zeal, to excel in your academic pursuit, and become the next Ayodele Awujobi, Professor Wole Soyinka, Professor Chike Obi, Isa Abubakar, and Professor Oluwasomi Olikoye Ransome-Kuti, and Ojetunji Aboyade of this, among other academic giants in our history. As parents, our fervent prayer is that you will be greater than us. Technology has indeed made the world a global village. In our time, the idea of a library was a space filled with books, requiring you to walk a distance from the hostel. Today, the library is on your palm, at the click of your phone, providing you vast information on anything under the sun. So you have no excuse or reason to excel, not to excel.
We'll go on a short break here, but still to come, Russia launches biggest wave of strikes on Ukraine for weeks. Details of this story after this break. Welcome back. Here's a recap of some of our top stories. In a sustained effort to rid the Federal Capital Territory of illicit drugs and related crimes, operatives of the Anti-Narcotics Section of the FCT Police Command have carried out coordinated raids across identified spots in the Abuja. Spokesperson of the command, SP Josephine Ade, disclosed on Thursday that the raids led to the arrest of 116 suspects and the recovery of various illicit substances, hard drugs, and dried leaves suspected to be cannabis. We also informed you that the Adamawa state government says it has rescued 14 children trafficked from the state and sold in Anambra State for amounts ranging from 800,000 naira to 1.7 million naira. The state government reunited the rescued children with their parents at a ceremony in Yola, the Adamawa state capital. Now, in case you missed any of our news bulletins or for more updates, you can catch us on Limex World TV and ABO TV, or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on X, Instagram, and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria, or download our mobile app on Google Play Store, Huawei App Gallery, and Apple Store. On Facebook, we're at TV360 Online. It's now time for business news, and Victoria Kande is on standby. What's the latest, Victoria?
Thank you very much, Joy. Welcome to Business News. Now, as part of ongoing efforts to strengthen Nigeria's economy, the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria is championing the Nigeria First policy, a strategic initiative aimed at prioritizing local production, boosting indigenous industries, and promoting economic self-reliance. The association made the appeal in Lagos at the 58th Annual General Meeting of the association's Ikeja branch, with renewed calls for stronger efforts to drive economic growth through local production, competitiveness, and sustainable development under the Nigeria First policy. TV360's correspondent Comfort Samuel has more details in this next report.
Industrialists, policymakers, and key economic stakeholders gathered in Lagos to deliberate on forging a new direction for the nation's economy by strengthening local production, reducing import dependence, and positioning the manufacturing sector as the engine of sustainable development. In his remarks, President of the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, Francis Meshoye, says enhancing the manufacturing sector through increased capacity utilization and greater support for made-in-Nigeria products is crucial for achieving sustainable growth. He also advocates streamlined regulations, the reduction of multiple levies, constructive dialogue, and protection for manufacturers from harassment by non-state actors.
At the heart of driving economic growth in Nigeria is the manufacturing sector. Therefore, the Nigeria First policy is akin to prioritizing national interests, like the concept of American First. We should aim at driving economic growth by promoting local manufacturing, enhancing competitiveness, and fostering sustainable development in Nigeria.
Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, represented by the Commissioner for Commerce, Cooperatives, Trade and Investment, reaffirmed support for the policy, acknowledging manufacturing as the heart of Nigeria's industrial and economic transformation.
Nigeria's first policy for sustainable development is both timely and critical. Nigeria stands today at a crossroads where the choices we make as government, as private sector, and as citizens determine and will determine the trajectory of our economy. The Nigeria First policy challenges us to look forward, to prioritize local production, and to empower indigenous enterprises.
On his part, Director General of the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, Segun Ajayi Kadiri, emphasizes that the Nigeria First policy must transcend being a mere slogan to become a comprehensive national development strategy, one that demands unity of purpose, strong institutions, and decisive leadership.
Industrial development is not just about what we can produce, but it's also much more about what we are willing to demand for, what we consume. If local producers are not supported by local consumption, by citizens, by companies, and by government alike, then our first line of competitiveness is compromised.
The Nigerian First policy, the way man sees it, is frontally looking at how we can prioritize patronage of made in Nigerian products and to ensure backward integration and transformation of our natural resource to raw materials and then products, which would obviously improve the economic environment. It will create jobs. It's going to enable us to have a value chain development that is conducive for a progressive economy.
The focus has been on how this process will drive sustainable growth of manufacturing in Nigeria, and also sustainable growth of the national economy.
Stakeholders rallying behind the Nigeria First policy highlights the pivotal role of the manufacturing sector in shaping Nigeria's economic future, emphasizing that sustainable growth hinges on building a strong, competitive and resilient manufacturing industry. Comfort Samuel, TV360 News, Lagos.
Right now, we would go on a short break and be back with stock market updates. Welcome back. It's the fourth trading day of the week and the Nigerian equities market extended its losing streak, declining by 0.87%. The market capitalization now stands at 88.8 trillion naira. A total of 129 listed equities participated in Thursday's session, with 17 gainers and 45 losers. University Press led the losers chart with a 10% decline, closing at 6 naira 30 kobo per share, followed by Thomas White Nigeria. Now, at the close of trade, more than 574 million shares exchanged and in 25,855 deals valued at over 12 billion naira. Now, this represents a 21% drop in volume and a 10% decline in deals compared to Wednesday's session. Now, switching to the global scene, global equities were lower on Thursday as traders avoided making big moves and waited for the Federal Reserve's 3-day annual Jackson Hole Symposium. Now, the US Dow Jones and Japan's Nikkei closed in negative territory, while the UK's FTSE bucked the trend by ending on a positive note, as you can see on the chart. Now, on the foreign exchange market, the naira traded at 1,545 naira to the US dollar, and at 2,100 naira to the pound, and at 1,790 naira to the euro. That's it on both business and stock market updates. Back to you, Joy, for the rest of the news.
Thank you, Victoria. And now on the foreign scene, Russia has launched one of its heaviest bombardments in weeks on Ukraine, firing 574 drones and 40 missiles across multiple regions, Ukrainian officials confirmed on Thursday. At least one person was killed in a strike on the western city of Lviv, while 15 others were injured. Following an attack in the southwestern Transcarpathia region, residential areas and energy infrastructure were among the reported targets. The assault came as U.S. President Donald Trump spearheads fresh diplomatic efforts aimed at halting the war, which has now entered its third year. Now, capturing portraits and protest, joys and hardships, photography has long reflected the soul of our era. On this year's World Photography Day, we celebrate the lens that preserves our shared humanity. TV360 Nigeria takes a look at how photographers in Nigeria and beyond are documenting history, reshaping culture, and inspiring the future of visual storytelling.
Every year, the world marks World Photography Day, a celebration of the art, craft, and power of photography. In Nigeria, the camera lens has long been a silent witness, capturing our culture, history, and resilience. From iconic independence photos in 1960 to images of cultural festivals, protests, and humanitarian crises, photography has helped keep our national story alive for future generations. As the world celebrates World Photography Day, Nigerian photographers reflect on what it means to capture truth in a society where every frame can tell a story.
Creativity comes into play at that point. How creative are you with your lighting and your setup? And I just feel like time is yours at that point to do whatever you want with it. Posterity will remember you for the quality of your images and, the how aesthetically pleasing they are. But I feel like in that moment in time, it's just you bending history to your will and just making history look exactly how you want it to look. So in a nutshell, it's the world through your eyes and you're in control.
Most of the things that we accept and believe from our leaders are based on the pictures that we see. Let's look at Black Lives Matter in the US. It all sparked from a photograph trending online. The EndSARS movement also was pushed by the pictures we've seen, both the beginning and the ending. The wrath that erupted then was based on the pictures people saw online. The good things also that we've come to believe about some parts of Nigeria, for example, let's use the pictures of Nii Fagbemi at the Ojude Oba Festival in Ogun State. The pictures that came in, I think 2 or 3 years ago, made the festival something that became so grand, a worldwide, something that internationally people were more interested in from photographs.
Photography also safeguards heritage. In a country where oral history often dominates, photographs provide a lasting visual record of who we are. Experts warn that without stronger national archives, much of Nigeria's visual history and cultural identity could be lost.
At some point, we will not have any control beyond creating the media. We will not have any control whatsoever over how it is shared, how it is used, how it is interpreted, how it is manipulated, how it is just about anything beyond when you take the picture and you putting it out there, be it on your socials, sharing it via email. Once it's out there, anything can happen.
I would really, this more like an opportunity for me to make a call to photographers, content creators to use our lens for good, because it's the pictures we capture now that would become the subject of history that others, especially people, forthcoming generations will look forward to see. So if we are crafting a bad narrative always, that means that's what they would have the idea that, oh, this is what the generation is like. But then if we try as much as possible to craft a good narrative, it would help.
Beyond memories, photographers say the art of photography has become a driver of public opinion and social change, shaping narratives from grassroots activism to national debates. They also advocate for young talent seeking visibility and support, taking advantage of social media.
A lot of pictures could be ordinary to a lot of people, but to the few who can relate to the events preceding and beyond when that image was taken, memories come flooding in when you're looking at just a simple image, a single frame, just captured in time. So it would be emotions for me, definitely.
It's a day and age of social media. So what I would advise is that you should take advantage of the social media. If you want international organizations to notice you, government to notice you, NGOs to notice you, you would have to start somewhere, which is the social media.
As we celebrate World Photography Day, Nigerian photographers are calling for 3 major actions: stronger recognition of photography's role in social change, investment in archives to preserve Nigeria's culture and history, and the use of social media platforms for upcoming talents. Victoria Akonde, TV360 News, Lagos.
And finally, on sports, Katsina United have bolstered their squad with the addition of 12 new players ahead of the 2025/2026 Nigeria Premier Football League campaign. The fresh recruits were selected following a series of rigorous trials organized by the club aimed at strengthening the team's depth and competitiveness for the new season. And that wraps up our bulletin on News Now. Many thanks for joining us. I am Joy Uchejim. See you next time.